Eric, can you still hear me? You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I got the fan in nice and cool now.
You got to blow in some air. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, all right. So we are live. I got your face up on the screen. And we're back, folks, for the third installment of Redcat Live. Today, I am very pleased and happy to announce and welcome none other than RC Patina Guy, who's joining us on today's show. And today, we'll be able to highlight some cool stuff and cool features and talk to someone that's in the hobby and actively posting all the time some crazy cool stuff that he's building. And he's also the builder, if you didn't know, of this amazing Love Machine 1964 car that I have here in front of me, which is a replica of the Love Machine in the movie Up in Smoke by Cheech and Chong, right? So for all of my fans out there, man, this is the show you want to be at today. This is the one you want to watch, and this is going to be a good one. So stick around. We're going to be talking a lot RC paintwork as well as the 64 in collaboration with RC Patina Guy. And we'll be going over hopefully some techniques as well that he might be able to let us know, the newbies, right, that are trying to get into the hobby and wanting to expand their horizon when it comes to paintwork. So, Eric, welcome to the show. Thank you so
Hey,
much for
man.
coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's when we first started this venture and the thought of creating Redcat Live, um, dude, you're the first person I reached out to. I had some ideas of who I wanted to have on the show, but immediately the first person I can think of that I desperately wanted to get on the show was you, and it's full circle comes around. I'm a fanboy, bro. I'm here. I love the work you do. So, I'm excited. So if I get a little jitty, a little giddy here today, just work with me, brother. Work with me.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm humbled by you guys wanting me to come on here and and thinking of me to just do this. So I really appreciate it.
No, no doubt, no doubt. I do got as always, I got a screen here in front of me. I'm not going to dissect every single question that pops up in that fashion. We do have some predetermined questions that have been asked and sent to me privately as well as on social media. If I see one that looks good, I might grab it. I do want to say what's up to Jesse, Oscar, Dave, Schaefer, Matt Flores. Man, what up, brother? Louis Alcala. Hermano, hope you're doing well. Andy Porter, what's good? Jesse Macias, thank you guys for the comments and thank you guys for joining us today. Let's get into it, brother. Let's talk about this. You are the RC Patina guy, bro. Like, how did this start? Where did it come from? How long have you been doing this? Man, give me the story. Let's get the folks exactly what they
Yeah,
want to
sure,
hear.
man. So I've been an artist all my life, right? Since I was 6 years old. I've been drawing and I've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff, painting, building furniture, doing all kinds of. So I like working with my hands. But and so I had a career in the advertising field and back in the day in the early 90s. And so I worked for a few companies doing publication. I was an art director. I was a designer. So I've always done design and I've always been fascinated by it. And so that's always been in my life. And so the RC has always been in my life at one point or another. I've dropped on, I've come in like 1978, I got my first RC. And this is obviously going to date me, but it was a Firefox, and it was a little silver Firefox,
Oh,
and it was all-wheel drive. I forget who makes it, but it was pretty sick, right? My dad bought it for me for Christmas. I
yeah.
think I was like 13, 12 or 13. And man, I just love cars. I love the detail in them, the die-cast cars, back in the 70s. It was just really really cool to see all this detail. And so that's always been carried throughout my life. And I love cars. I had a sports car when I was in high school, and just kind of just dealt with all types of automotive and art. So yeah, that's how it kind of led me to this.
And so the with that, I mean, obviously being in doing design work and being driven by it for so many years, and then having that connection as a child when it comes to the hobby, has expanded you to do some pretty cool stuff that we see nowadays, right? I mean, I think one of my favorite live feeds that I watch now is whenever you decide that you want to go live, dude. I think sometimes it's on the way home, sometimes it's in the evening, but dude, when you go live, man, I'm always on it because it's always cool just to see, you assemble a 1964 body, which, let's face it, it's a ton of parts, right? I mean, what are we talking? 25 panels that you have to put together?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of details, man. It's just, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't do that many lives just because it takes effort to do a live, and you want to get everything situated, and then you got to think, and you can get interrupted, and so I try not to do too many, just because um I need to focus on what I'm doing. And then, and you get the comments, and you don't want to be rude, and you want to
Yeah.
respond to people. And so it's hard for me to, not hard. It's just, like, I got to get in the zone. Right. So,
Absolutely. And one of the things too is you don't want to turn the hobby into so much of a job where you can't enjoy it, right? You can't give that creativity that just kind of naturally flows when you want to make something monumental and beautiful, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, I love sharing my stuff though,
yeah,
and that's why I always post things, because I just, it's like, I'm as excited to see other people's stuff. And so, like, when I do my stuff, I'm excited to post it on there, and it's like a little kid, right? Like, oh,
right,
look what I did, look what I was able to do.
right,
If you guys have any questions, let me know. And
right.
so I love to share my knowledge as well.
Right. And that's the great thing about it, right? Is as you grow and expand in the hobby, it's no fun when you're the only one with the keys, right? So sometimes you gotta jimmy a lock a little bit and let some other folks in and let them enjoy some of the hobby at the same time. And that's one thing. That's one of the reasons why I love so much what you do on your live feeds, because a lot of folks get to see that, right? And they get to take that and go, I got this, epic model like 64. It's basic, but man, I see this guy, RC Patina Guy, just doing this with it, and like boom, the mind just blows up, right? Um, yeah, it's amazing in a lot of senses, and seeing the work that you've put into it, and you can tell that there's passion behind it. And I think that's what really drives and motivates and encourages others to do cool stuff. Because let's face it, you've been in from the forefront at the beginning of the 64 drop. You've been a part of the community from day one, and you've seen quite a bit of things happen with the 64 right out of the gate, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and they blow me away, because, like, some of the stuff that these guys do out there is amazing, right? They open, they start opening the trunk, the doors, and then, I mean, they start doing like all these different flakes and patterns and pinstriping, and to me that's like, man, that's crazy. How do you
Right,
do that?
right, right.
So they blow me away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, much love, man. I'm gonna take a quick second, say what's up to Brandon Smith, Abraham De Jesus. We got Mike out there, Tony Gutierrez, Mano. What's good, brother? Louis Akala, man. Yeah, man. He was one of the first to set the customizing trends in the Redcat community for sure. And dude, look at that. The community's talking, and they admire and they acknowledge that, and they appreciate what you do, But with that said, so we've talked a little bit about where you've come from and where it started in that fashion. Where did the RC Patina Guy start to take flight? How did that come to be?
So that happened this past May 2020. The whole COVID thing really spawned a lot of hobbies. It spawned a lot of ideas and businesses. And I'm in the tech field, so I'm always on, working on computers, and I missed working with my hands, right? And so, my wife's like, you need to get a hobby. We're here stuck together, and yeah, we enjoy each other as company, but yeah, figure something out. And I'm like, yeah, and I started watching these videos on people, how, how they're doing die cast, patina, and doing all that kind of stuff. And I thought, that's cool, man. I want to do that. I wonder if I could do that with an RC car, because I used to paint RC cars, back in the day, and but nothing like crazy fancy. Just you buy a shell and you paint it and you go bash, and simple, right?
Yeah.
No detail. It's just cool decals and everything. And so when COVID hit, I had a couple of bashers. I had an enduro. I had a Gen 8, the Redcat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I bought the black one, and I thought, man, I'm gonna try and do this patina thing. And so I bought a Power Wagon, and I started messing around with it, and I did this yellow Power Wagon with some patina and some rust, and then I took it in to get some lights, because I'm not I'm not the type of guy that right now that goes in there and fixes it, takes it apart. I just like to paint.
Yeah.
And so I don't have that much knowledge in everything else. But so I took it into JJ Customs here locally, right?
Hey, Jason Lamarca, man, love that guy.
Yeah. And so I took it in there and I said, hey, can you do some lights for me on this Power Wagon? And I bought some 3D parts for it. And he's like, yeah, sure. And he mentioned, hey, that's really nice. Who did that? And I told him, oh, I just painted it, And he's like, oh, dude, this is really cool. This is really good. And he said, you can actually, people will pay you to do this stuff. And I'm like, what? Get out of here. Right. To me, it was just like, yeah, it's fun, right?
And those of you that don't know Jason is like such an entrepreneurship mentality with everything he does.
So he's the one that kind of pushed me to think about RC Patina Guy, right? And then, so I was, I went in there and he told me, yeah, dude, think about it. And so that night I came home and I thought about it, and I thought, so I thought, what would be cool to do, and I thought, should I open, do a business, an LLC? What should I do? So I started out with like drawing sketches of my logo.
Yeah.
And thinking, what's a good name? And I went online and saw all these guys, RC this, RC that. And I'm like, man. So I came up with, Patina, RC Patina Guy. And so that's how it kind of came up to life. And that it was born. The RC Patina Guy was born,
Right.
And so and the mask and the skull. I'm into skulls. I have a lot of tattoos.
Right.
I love skulls. And I thought, yeah, that'd be cool. Just something cool, something interesting, and something I like and enjoy. And yeah, that's where the whole name came from.
Dude, I love it. It's a great story in that fashion. How long has the RC Patina Guy been RC Patina Guy?
Actual date was May 16th, 2020.
Wow. So we're just shy of a year, and you've done such amazing stuff already.
Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate it. But I've been painting for a while, right? I've been an artist since 92. So yes. It's not like I just started doing this. I just focused my art into RCs. And so, yeah, the LLC has been just less, almost a year, right?
Yeah.
This May. But no, I've been doing this for a while.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. You brought that experience that you've had for so many years, and you've applied it in a fashion that a lot of us just didn't. A lot of us have thought about it outside the box, but to you, it seems like it just comes a little more natural, if it's safe to say. That's the way it appears to me, anyways. When I see a lot of your work, it's like to just like naturally good at what he does,
it's there's a lot of passion behind it. Like I really, really enjoy like creating themes.
Yeah.
And just making, I'm more of a realist. So if I see, like something that's one-on-one scale, or I see patina, or I see weather or rust or whatever, I love to recreate that. I think in my past life, maybe I was a forger or something. And, you know, and I forged stuff because I love to copy. Ever since I was a little kid, if I saw something, I could sit there and draw it.
So what you're telling me is I need to check your money because it might have been washed one too many times.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
So,
great.
but yeah, so you know, it's a passion of mine, right? So when I get something that's 1/10 scale, and I think it's the passion is trying to recreate that the best that I can, right? In that
Yes.
scale.
I love it. That's freaking awesome. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about how we can make some money somehow.
Hey
That's
man, no.
just horrible. So, hey, really quick, Eric, where are you from? Where do you reside? Man, what's your corner of the world?
Yeah, well, I was born in Texas,
Oh
and
wow.
then I lived in '92. I moved to San Diego. So I lived out in San Diego for probably 25, 26 years. And this past, I guess it was 2013 is when I moved into the Bay Area. And then and I'm located in San Jose, California.
Love it, man. You're from the Bay now.
Yeah, that's right.
You've been adopted as one of their own, from what I
Yeah.
understand. So, man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Quick question. Someone had a couple quick questions. Someone wants to know, what is your darkest secret?
In regards to what?
That was a question. Hey, what is your darkest secret? I'm over here like, wow, that's pretty deep.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
Hard.
Man, right, right. Hey, but lots of guys are giving you much love. Tony Gutierrez loves your logo, loves the work you do. Jeff Ramos says you definitely took the RC painting by storm. Lots of appreciation by so many folks. Robert Lindquist, the RC Patina Guy, is awesome. Brandon Smith is asking, how is there a simple way that you can explain how you make rust? And we'll touch base on that question in a little bit as well as we go on. But so we now know where you've come from. We now know where you're at and what's come to be. Let's talk about how this bad boy happened. Tell me,
Yeah,
tell me about how you came full circle with Redcat Racing, and where did this love machine come from? I know where it came from, movie wise, but for you, what did this car mean?
yeah. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that's showing a bunch of love. So I just wanted to get that out of the way there. But yeah, so when Redcat came out with a 64, I had already been doing some, other cars and patina and power wagon, mainly power wagons, because there's a lot of crawlers out there, right? And I did some DR10s and CUDA bodies but when Redcat came out with the 64 Impala, I was like, oh, that's cool. So I started getting on, I think it was Redcat Lowriders, and just commenting and I was trying to, get some work in, and I blogged on there. I think I put a comment on there. Hey, if anybody wants a Cheech and Chong, hit me up, DM me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just doing that for fun, right? Because I thought of doing it for myself, because I thought, oh, that'd be cool to do, and for me, it would be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't seen it out there, and it's not patina, it's just it's brown primer, I think.
Oh
Right,
yeah.
or maybe it's brown paint, I don't know, because there is some gray primer to it. But I thought, okay, well, that kind of falls into my whole patina guy style, and so I thought, that'd be a perfect thing to do, because it's a 64 and it just everything lines up. So I put that comment on there, and I think like a week or two passed by and I didn't hear anything. And then I got a message from Darren, the owner, right, of Redcat, and he's like, "Hey, can you do one for me?" And I'm like, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Who's this?"
You had the same response I had, man. When I got hit up by the guy, I was like, "This has got to be fake."
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Like this.
Like,
Why would the owner just reach out to me? That's weird, right?
yeah. And so we set up a meeting, and he called me and talked to me, and I told him, yeah, dude, that'd be great. He's like, can you paint it like that? And I said, yeah, sure. That'd be fun.
Hmm.
And it evolved from there, because I think his idea was just for me to paint it, just to paint it, not do any modifications, not, it was just going to be a paint job, with the primer on the sides, the
Hmm.
blue door, and that's pretty much it, and then um, as I started talking to him, and I said, hey, you know what? I started showing him videos of the things that I was doing, and he was like, oh shit. He didn't expect any of that stuff, that I was actually modifying and doing,
Yeah.
to the Redcat. But I was showing him videos, and I was just excited to
Right.
show him. I was like, oh dude, check this out.
Yeah.
So I was like 2 a.m. I would send him a video, and we just kept going back and forth. And it just kind of grew into, what, I might as well do the whole thing. So I reached out to him again, and I said, hey, can you do some 3D parts? Because I really want some wheels. I want the horns. Can you do the steering wheel? Can you do the ornament, the hood ornament?
Right, right, and it is all there, guys. It's no joke. Everything is there. The horns are there in the front. You can see them there. The hood ornament was done. Chain link steering wheel. He's got the interior. Right. I mean, it was, yeah. Everything you could ask for is there.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the back of it right now, and it's a muff diver on there, dude. That's incredible.
Yeah.
The license plate.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and but yeah, so we started talking, and I started showing him videos, and he was just like, "Holy shit, dude, you're taking this to a whole new level." And for me, it wasn't like taking it to a new level. It was just like I was excited about recreating, to the best of my ability, that one-on-one in an RC car.
Yeah.
And why not? I mean, the Redcat, like the trim, the panels, everything that Redcat did was like spot on. So why not try and do the best that I can to make it look like the actual car, right? And and there were concerns about, just uh, how am I going to do this? And he was like, hey, you can mail it out to me. And as time went on, I started doing more, and did the pipes in the back, did all this stuff. And I actually modified a lot of, well, some of the 3D parts, um, and had to do my own white walls, on there, and just, out of vinyl. And so a
Oh,
lot of the stuff is just fabricated from styrene, or just, little, the same chrome, tree that is, connected to all the parts, all the chrome parts, right? And
right.
so I just cut those, modified them, and did a lot of modifications. The interior was the biggest challenge.
Hmm.
Um, Trying to, find the fox fur, trying to find the tassels, trying to find uh, the dash and everything
Right.
on the interior. Um,
But
and so,
and you did a great job at it. I mean, it's got the full fur interior. It's got the dingle balls all over the place. I mean, like you really you nailed all that.
yeah, yeah. So it was really interesting, and getting to that point was like, um, my wife came in, and she was talking to me. She's like, "What are you doing?" Didn't even know.
I'm
So
geeking
I
out.
got a little distracted. Sorry about that. But
Babe,
yeah, so
babe, I'm geeking out. I'm in the garage, just RCing. Yeah, that's the term. I had to put a red bulb in my outside of my garage door for my wife to know when I'm recording. Like,
yeah. And so yeah, so I did a lot of the detail work, like I said, the fox fur, ordering all the stuff, trying to find it, right?
mhm.
Because I had to order a lot of this, a lot of the little things on Amazon, and just kind of go on there and find online things. And sometimes some of the things were just recreating it.
Right.
Tassels, I found the little balls, and I started sewing them together, and that was taking too long. And I'm like, man, this is a lot of this is really time consuming. And then I was like doing it with a sewing machine, doing it by hand. So there's a lot of little things that I had to figure out how to do.
Absolutely. And some of the work that you actually did on top of that, not just the paint, but the details like the stickers, the decals. Tell me a little bit about the decals you had to find for this thing.
Yeah, so the Mexico flags, right? So I'm like, how am I going to find these? So um, I had I had to modify them. I had the company that did the plates, the Muff Diver, which is RC Plate Shop. He supplies me with all my plates, and I asked him, hey, can you do a little Mexican flag for me? And he's like, yeah, I think I can do that. So I reached out to him, and he made it. Um, it wasn't to the it was a scale, but it was hard to read, and so then the letters were okay, and so I cut the vinyl out of the flag just because they were a little brighter than the paper.
Sure.
So I reached out to a lot of different people to get me, mainly Redcat, but like the license plate and the little decals. That was RC Plate Shop.
Yeah, dude, and that's awesome. Like I said, in the collaboration, the resources that you dove into to find to make and recreate this iconic car was is amazing, brother. I mean, you really outdid yourself. Even the exhaust, it's got the exhaust in the back coming out. I believe there was only one modification that we did here in house to it. I would turn it on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather show you guys in some clips that we'll share with you guys here in the next month or so. Our very own Matt Jackson installed a smoke machine in the car. So the car itself, actually, when we turn it on, has a vape system inside of it with the coil, and it heats up and it creates and bellows out the smoke. I mean, it hot boxes the whole car. It is so sick. I actually shared with you some footage that I took of it because hey, it's your brainchild. I had to make sure you got to see it firsthand what was going on when it looks as it's coming down the road and you see the smoke just bellowing out. And that's the best part. Yeah, someone was like, "Hey, double bubble." We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
On the new one you're building, adding the sticker to it.
Yeah.
Dude. You really outdid yourself, and it really is an amazing build altogether. I know it's one that we pridefully look at quite a bit here at the shop, and it's one of our favorite ones that we've seen so far. And there's a lot of amazing builders out there. So please, by no means do I mean to down talk any of the builders that we see on our page because there's so many amazing of you guys out there, and I will reach out to you guys, one by one, so I can get you guys on the show to highlight some of your guys' builds too. So, don't worry, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, man. There are a bunch of builders out there that just they blow me away. They're my inspiration, right?
Right.
They're like, man, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Tony Gutierrez. Yes, sir. This bad boy is an Omi. It will shoot out smoke. It does have a fan in there with a box and a coil, and it will create an immense amount of smoke and just start bellowing out. So, way cool stuff. We had to make sure that we, step that notch up just a little bit because why not, right? So let me go into this really quick. So that's the 64 in your collab. Is there anything else you want to add about this build that's your favorite part about it?
My favorite part, and I have one here, so I gotta look at it. The interior, and I don't know if anybody can see it here, but I have this one here, so they could see the interior. So the interior was really cool. I create the console in the center. The steering wheel, dude. I think,
dude,
to me, that's my favorite part right there. I don't know if you guys can. Let me see if I can zoom in. It looks scale.
Good. Yeah.
It's 1/10 scale. I mean, it's scaled to the actual one-on-one. It's small. It's really fragile. It's really detailed. And so for me, that's one of the highlights. But also the other highlight is the chain and the stick.
Yes.
That he has
for the door.
Yeah. Here, I'll show it here so you don't have to pick it because I just have the body here. But
yeah.
Yeah. So the little chain
and
stick, that was really cool to do. It's just,
And it's those little touches that just go such a
yeah, it just hangs
long
in there,
way,
and
you know. Dude, that's awesome, bro. And this is one of the reasons why I love getting the opportunity, and thank you to the entire Redcat team for allowing me the honor to do this segment of RC for you guys, because for me this is where I geek out the most, and I really do enjoy this. So I thank you, Eric. This is, I'm telling you, I was geeking out before we even went live. We were talking before the scenes, and I was already like, all right, hold on. We got to save this for the show, because I'll get carried away for hours if you let me. So, quick question. There was a question that came up I really want to ask. Do you have a preference when it comes to your paint, based on like oils compared to acrylics or
um,
enamels?
yeah. So I just used Tamiya paint.
Okay.
Uh, Tamiya paint has, I've always used it. There's other suppliers out there, which have great paint as well,
Mm-hmm.
like Spastics. You know, I use the glossy black from them because they're pretty amazing in that glossy black.
Yeah.
But Tamiya has some good paint that that works with what I do. And I don't use an airbrush. I just use rattle can.
Okay. And
And I do use acrylics for certain patinas.
okay. And normally a lot of your paint jobs are done exterior. Is that accurate? Or just some, or you do both?
No, I everything that I do is painted from the inside,
Uh-huh.
but I also do all the patina and everything on the outside.
Okay. Okay. So as it wears down, you can actually see the background color sometimes.
Yeah, and so what I do with my builds is every build I do is I paint it silver on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a power wagon or if it's a crawler or a DR10 or whatever, because when it peels or it scrapes, the silver shows and it looks like the metal underneath the car.
Right, right. Almost like war wounds, right?
Yeah,
So
so
that's
that's kind
awesome.
of like, because I like the realism part of it, so that's what I do.
Mm,
So I'll do silver on the inside, so I buy a lot of silver paint.
perfect, perfect. Let me see here. Let's see. There was one more that I really wanted to ask you. Where is it? Oh, is there an average price point for what you charge for a paint job, or does it really just depend on the type of job that is being inquired about?
Yeah, so my average, I mean, it starts at 295,
Hmm.
and then it goes up from there,
Hmm.
depending on, like some guys want rivets. I've done rivets. I've done,
Well, you did actually an amazing drag body with a bunch of rivets, if I'm not mistaken, right?
limited. It was the Corvette Limited.
Yeah, and it was based off of the, was it the airplane, right?
Yeah, it
The
was a
jet
red tail.
Mustang
Yeah, the red
plane.
tail
Yeah. So
warplane.
if you guys haven't seen it, check out the work he did on that, because it was sick. It was so badass. It was awesome.
Thanks, man.
So many rivets, a lot of detail that went into that, and that's when I knew, like, I wasn't just talking to, just someone that messes around with the rattle can every once in a while. I could tell the art, you know, um, aspect was huge with you,
Yeah.
and that's what made me gravitate towards wanting to get to know you a bit more. Like, dude, I got to get into this guy's head. I got to figure him out. This is way too cool. Um, so with that said, let's talk about RC Patina Guy. This is your show and tell. What is it that you want to share with the guys? Things that you might be working on, maybe services you offer that you want to let the guys know about, so they can check in with you, after the show.
Yeah, sure. Right now I'm finishing up the second um, Cheech build, and then I have another one that I'll be starting in April. And so I'm making 3 of 3. I think that's going to be it. Um, unless somebody's going to pay me a lot of money for to make more. I just don't want to saturate it with too many of them. And so I'm limiting it to 3 right now. But who knows, right? That's what I had in my head right now.
Well,
Uh,
if you did stop at 3 of 3 at some point, I need, whenever you are in the area, we get together, I'm gonna need you to sign the inside of this body then, because it's gonna
I
be.
think I did.
Oh, if you did, yeah, then we're good. We're set.
I think and I
That's
put,
awesome.
I assigned it to whoever I wanted to.
That
I
is
think it was Darren.
badass.
But yeah, and I always put my logo on the inside of the bodies, and I'll sign it and the date, um, and I'll put that in there. But
Perfect.
yeah, I think my I have quite a pipeline right now. There's some really cool themes that people have wanted me to do, and I've done some commissioned to do, and so they'll be coming up soon, and I'll be showing those out as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, to the folks that don't know, where can they find you?
So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Um, and yeah, just on Instagram and Facebook.
Hmm.
I have a website as well, my www.rcpatinaguy.com.
Right, and just so you guys know, on the live feed, I have his website shared as well. So if you guys have any questions or want to commission some work, hey, there we go. Ooh, someone actually is asking. Hey, big shout out Tony Gutierrez for thinking about this one. They want to know if you would ever be interested in doing the Gypsy Rose. Do you know the Gypsy Rose?
Yeah. And it's funny because I know that somebody's already done it, and they did it with some crazy decals, and they came out great.
Right.
I thought of doing it, but I reached out to the Concrete Rose. So I reached out to Chinaman.
Hmm.
He's up in Sacramento, and so I'm going to be doing his.
Oh,
And it's gonna take a while, but I've been chatting with him, and so that's gonna be the next like big one.
sure.
So yeah, so that's
Right, and then of course I know you're doing some other 64s for some friends of ours, yours and mine. I know you're doing Chris Villa's car, Mean Green, if I'm not mistaken, as well. You shared a couple pictures on your page about. I know he's going to be giving me that car because it's Raider themed, and you know, no hate, guys, please, no hate. I know they left the Bay, Vegas, so I moved to Arizona to stay closer to my team. But it's really is cool to see the fact that you do not only patina type work, but you also do the fancy, the glam, as well. You don't just have the niche market, but you are okay expanding. And with that comes a question that I want to ask, because we have a lot of people that follow that are new to the hobby, and the 64, and I say this with no disrespect ever, but unfortunately, the 64 was their intro to the hobby. And I say unfortunately because for a lot of us, we had an immense amount of 110 bodies that we've built over the years, that we've come to grow and appreciate, and trial and error on them. And let's face it, to spend what we spend on one of these to trial and error is a little nerve-wracking. What can you, Eric, say to the new hobbyist that just joined on, that wants to start painting his body and is scared or nervous to hack at it?
yeah. Don't be afraid. Look at I looked at videos. I went online and looked at videos. I got as much information as I could. Um, you know, See if you can find some Lexan um, bodies that somebody is messed with, or if you can do it, buy one that's not that expensive to practice on, right? um, that's kind of what I started doing. I have I've done a lot of power wagons, and I have a lot of beds um, that I haven't used, and so I experiment. I even now I still experiment, right? Because you're always learning something new. Sometimes I'll do something, and it'll be a mistake, and it'll create a certain effect, and so I'm like, oh, that was cool. So a lot of things come with mistakes, right? So there's a lot of lessons to learn with mistakes. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Um, it's an RC car.
Right.
It's not
Right.
it's not open heart surgery. So if you make mistakes, it's not a big deal. And that's the way I see it. I mean, I see it a little different because it's a service, right? I'm providing a service, and people are paying me money to make it look the way, the good quality, right? And so I have to be a little bit more careful and
Sure.
more.
And, absolutely. And we want to make sure we respect that boundary, because it is a boundary that we dance around. I just want to make sure that if you did have any other advice for the new hobbyist that may not want to get into business, but just literally just wants to start doing something that makes their car unique. that can go a long way. It's up to us that know how to do things, and up to all you followers out there that have been in the hobby for a long time, to take those people under your wing and show them something and elevate those around you, right? Because that's what it's about. We the more positivity we put out there, the more we're going to get back, and that's what the hobby is all about at the end of the day. Let me ask you a question. Is there any techniques that you prefer on specifically a rusted patina look that you can share?
Yeah, and this is well known, or maybe it's not well known, but it's out there on YouTube and stuff. I use salt to get a certain patina effect. You get your main color. Let's just say it was blue. That's your main color, and then you'll get the patina color, whether it's brown or cinnamon or whatever, and you'll paint that, and then you add your salt to it, and then you go back, let it dry, and then you paint over the salt with the original color blue, let's say, right? And then you just take the salt off, and of course, there's trial and error, and it takes time to get it right, but that's the process of doing that look and feel. I mean, over the year and over the years, I mean, I painted other things as well, but to do it on Lexan or do it on a hard body, it just depends on what kind of salt you use, the heat outside, make sure you heat your cans. I boil water, put them in there and heat them up. So those are tips and tricks that are out there. I know that I got some great tips from Hemi Storm.
Yeah, dude, great guy too.
Yeah, and he's been painting for way long time. So he puts out stuff out there, and I just do a lot of research, man. I just go on.
And Eric, touch base on this. To touch base on for folks, we're not telling you to go boil your cans, but we are telling you that a properly warm paint and a warm surface, not hot, will really help the paint spread on your spray and adhere to the surface really well. For those of you guys that don't like the wrinkled look or want to avoid the orange peel, what like Eric does is I get scorching hot water, and I throw my cans in that hot water, shaking them up, throwing them back in there, shaking them up, throwing them back in there to make sure that can is nice and warm. It's an old school trick. Yes, Tony Gutierrez said it. Heating spray cans is old school. Yes. If you spend time on a wall like some of us have in the past, then that is a key structure. Definitely when you go to paint your bodies, don't go out and do it in the cold. If you're under 70 degrees, 60 degrees, you're going to have to take it inside and warm up a room to do so. You don't want to spray in cold temperature. The paint will wrinkle on you, especially when you're dealing with the polycarbonate type of paint on a Lexan body. I've done it. I've destroyed so many bodies in the process. And again, trial and error. So, lean on those around us. We're always happy to help in that fashion. But yeah, that was a great thing to touch base on, because I know a lot of folks sometimes forget just the basics when it comes to that.
And wash your body, right? Get that oil, that oil off of your body.
I like to use like a mild dish soap, but not a lot of it. What about you?
Yeah, I do the same thing. I use just regular over the what is it? Takes the grease out.
Right.
The soap. Yeah, I just use that dish soap.
Right. Hey, shout out to one of the fastest girls in RC, Jasmine. How you doing? Hey, Flip Chris is in the house. My dude. Hope you're having a great day too. Let's see here. One of the last questions. Do you have a personal builder in the hobby? It may be in the 64 realm, it may be in the crawler scene. It may not be in any of what we're known to know about. Is there a builder that you've, over the years, looked up to by chance?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few. Scott Lampert, he's an amazing builder. Wes and Davey, these guys build out of styrene, and they do amazing builds. I mean, I'm Joel Buttons. He's come out in RC Car Action magazine. Right. So all these guys have come out in these magazines, and so there's also guys that do dioramas, which I'm kind of getting into. I'm going to be doing a garage diorama for 1/10 scale RC cars for photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, those guys, I mean, I am blown away by, the type of work they do as well.
Mhm.
Even though they do it on hard bodies, they also paint Lexan. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys out there that blow me away, man. I mean, they can
Right.
paint crazy, you know.
Right. And I always tell everyone it's when it comes to painting polycarbonate bodies, clear Lexan bodies, dude, it's all in your prep, really. I mean, the more preparation you do before you start spraying, the more details you're going to be adding. Shout out So Many Ways Lou. I don't, do you know Lou by chance? Have you seen any of his work, Eric?
Sorry, I didn't. You broke up. Can you
Oh,
repeat that?
yeah. I was saying what's up to So Many Ways Lou. Have you seen any of his work by chance?
Oh, I probably have.
Dude,
It's
if you get a chance, take a look at some of his stuff too, man. Dude is awesome too. Another one of the great builders that I see always posting great pictures. Lot of great guys, that follow the page that do great work as well, and they do a lot of that like just over the top gold and glam and really cool
yeah, man.
stuff.
I mean,
But yeah, so kind of making that full circle around. Great names. You mentioned a lot of amazing people that you look up to in that fashion. Um, any of them that you found are your biggest inspiration by chance?
man, it's hard. I mean, they're all they all inspire me, man.
Yeah.
When they post their stuff. I mean, even on the specifically, the for the 64, right?
Hmm.
Like these guys that um, paint these, flake cars and they open them up and then they, do all the work. I mean, even the first creator of it was Jeffries, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so,
Jeffries. Yeah. Hey,
I
shout out
mean,
Jeffries two times shout out.
yeah, I mean, that guy's crazy good, right?
Yeah.
And so, um, man, there's just so many. I just blown away. I'm always online, on social media, just looking at the stuff, and that inspires me. And
Yeah.
my thing is like themes. I love doing themes, recreating themes. So
Yeah.
if anybody has a one-on-one, and I know this guy that brought me a C10, and he's like, man, it was my grandfather's truck,
Yeah.
and he passed away, and I want to recreate it in my RC car. Can you do it? And I'm like, dude, that's kind of the best type of work I love to do because it's a one-on-one.
Right.
And I go, if it's locally, I'll go there and take pictures. If it's not local, I'll just have them send me as many pictures as possible.
Sure, sure. I had we at the RC hangout this last weekend had someone on the show. We were talking about that, and some of my favorite builds in any aspect of the hobby, whether it's 64, crawler, bash, or whatever you have, is when you create something that was really meaningful to you. So you hear about the guy that says, I'm building this C10 in commemoration of my father that, passed away of cancer or something along the lines of just they're no longer here. And it's amazing to see the connection between RCs and real life and how just having that is so meaningful, right? And it means so much. And so I love that. I can really appreciate that, Eric, that those builds stand out the most to you because I know that they're probably the most special ones for me to see and watch grow over the years.
Yeah, and that's what makes me happy, right? Is to see the faces, or just to hear, in a DM, like, man, I love this thing. You did an awesome job. And it's not necessarily, yeah, the money is a nice little perk because I can buy supplies and I can buy,
Right.
more RC stuff. But just the satisfaction I get out of the enjoyment of other people receiving, something that they like are blown away by
Right.
is.
Hey, that's what makes the best. That's what makes this worthwhile. All right, man. Well, so let me see. We've touched base on a lot of questions already. Some questions are going to help some people out. We talked about some of your favorite builders. The last question that I have for you is there a part of the RC hobby that you enjoy the most?
Man, it comes in waves. The crawler thing. I love crawling, and I don't get out much
Well, let's
because
face it.
I'm,
This last
I'm
year, no one's gone out much at all, right?
painting, right? So because I'm painting so much, but I don't get out much. But crawling, and then lately, after the what is it, the drag racing, King of the Streets, right?
Yep, yep.
That was like, oh, so I pre-ordered my Losi, because the body, I love the body, right? It's the
It's
Camaro, and
yeah,
so
it's a great body. It's a great looking
yeah,
car.
and I've had my bashers with my Creightons.
Yeah,
So it just depends on. Sometimes I have one of each, and if I can, I'll go out. Lately, it's been, I have a Fortec that runs a 6S, and that Chris, it was Chris's, and Chris Villa, and
yeah.
he gave it to me, and he said, here, dude, and I've done a lot of paint jobs for him, and so yeah, there's a few right now. It's really hard bodies. I'm getting more into hard bodies now,
Sure.
just because of the interior, because I like doing the interior, and so yeah, right now it's like hard bodies and the crawler scene.
Yeah.
But I love the DR10. I love doing the sleeper.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Do you
know,
know,
the
I
sleep.
might have to have you do a one of my drag cars next then, because it definitely sounds like I need to step my game up because I love what you do. I'm still thinking about those rivets, dude. I still got
Yeah,
those stuck in my
that
head, you know.
was crazy. That was a lot of fun. I'd done a felony too.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So, man, with that said, Eric, we appreciate having you on the show. We appreciate you letting us pick your brain and allow me to interview you so that all these amazing folks that follow along can get to know you a little bit better. And now they know where to find you, what you're about. And, man, as a hobby, as a whole, I want to say thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing for the hobby. Thank you for promoting positivity. And thank you for also not being that unapproachable person, right? And making a staple, location for folks to come and get resources to, because that really means the most to our new hobbyists.
yeah, man. Thank you for having me, dude. I really appreciate it. And for people out there that have questions and stuff, I always get people that DM me, and that's fine. I might not answer you right away, or it might take a few days for me to respond. But I'll definitely, I've helped out a lot of people ask me questions about how, painting or doing this and that. And yeah, man. I mean, I'm here to share as well. I'm not gonna share like my trade secrets,
And
but
of course not. No,
yeah, I mean, that's how I learned too, by asking questions, right?
right, right. I mean, I think the thing I had the most fear about wasn't so much the paint; it was cutting the body, right, and having the experience came with time and the right tools too, right? You have to invest in
Yeah.
some right tools for the right job, like anything else. Before we do let you guys go, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. I myself, Redcat Racing, we will be at this year's Arizona Super Show. It's a lowrider show happening this coming Saturday, the 27th, at Cardinal Stadium. It goes from noon to 7 p.m. and from that location, we'll be announcing the raffle winner of the 64, which we've been pushing really hard the last 2 weeks. So stay tuned. If you did not sign up, make sure to hit that link in the post that is on our page and multiple pages thereof. Make sure you register because, again, Friday we pick the winner and we will announce it Saturday live from the show. If you are from Arizona and you're in the area and you want to stop by, if you see me, man, stop me, say hi, let's take a picture, let's have a good time. I will be cruising around some 64s, trying to mingle with a lot of the builders of the one-to-ones and getting to know our car club. So, yeah, reach out. We'll be happy to see you guys. To the rest of you guys that made it out today, thank you so much. I appreciate all the support. All of us here at Redcat Racing really appreciate all the kind words and the drive behind Redcat Live. We really hope to keep building on this and keep bringing you guys more episodes as we go. We do have another episode scheduled next week and one after that, and I will or may alter some details on that, but we'll drop some information hopefully this coming Monday as to who we're going to have on the show. As for now, from myself, Oscar Ramirez, host of Redcat Live, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Eric, thank you as well for being a part of the show, and we look forward to your next creation.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Much love, man. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. Stay blessed and stay positive. Love.